Have you ever said something in anger and regretted its seconds later? One moment, emotions surge like a tidal wave, anger, frustration, fear. The next, we're left alone, staring at the aftermath. The room is silent, but our mind is loud. In a world full of notifications, opinions, and endless noise, staying calm is no longer easy. Every second, something pulls our attention, challenges our patience, or triggers a reaction. And too often, we react without thinking. But what if there was a way to stay calm even in the chaos? What if you could master your mind before your emotions master you? That's where Stoicism begins. 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor stood calm in the face of war and betrayal. His name was Marcus Aurelius. While storms raged around him, both literal and political, he held a stillness within. He wrote not for fame, but for self-control, not to conquer others, but to conquer himself. Today, his ancient wisdom still speaks to us, louder than ever. In this video, you'll discover how Stoic philosophy can help you understand your emotions, pause before reacting, regain control in everyday life. This isn't just theory. It's a toolkit, one that can transform how you respond to stress, to conflict, to life itself. Let's begin. Every day, we are bombarded. Our phones light up with messages, news alerts, and social media updates, each one asking for attention, each one demanding a response. Comparison, judgment, fear, they arrive faster than we can think. And before we know it, we're reacting on autopilot. You read a comment online, and your heart rate jumps. Someone criticizes you, and your first instinct is to defend, to strike back. You're stuck in traffic, and suddenly you're shouting not at a person, but at a world that refuses to go your way. We lose control because we forget that we have it. We let emotions drive our decisions, not because we choose to, but because we never pause long enough to choose differently. And it doesn't take much. A single notification, a passive-aggressive message, a moment of self-doubt. Emotions flare. The storm takes over. We hit send. We yell. We act. And then silence. That cold, regretful silence. The Stoics called this living according to impulse. They warned us, unless we train the mind, it will always follow the emotion. But there is another way. Imagine sitting in the center of a storm, winds blowing, chaos around you, and yet you are still. That's the power Stoicism offers. Not to control the world, but to control your response to it. What exactly is Stoicism? To many, it sounds like cold indifference, a refusal to feel. But that's a misunderstanding. At its core, Stoicism is about mastery, not over others, but over yourself. It's the ancient philosophy that teaches us to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, ruled over millions. Yet each night, he journaled not about power, but about humility. His face, carved in stone, reminds us of quiet strength, a man fighting not enemies, but his own impulses. Before him, Epictetus, a former slave, taught that freedom isn't the absence of chains, it's the ability to choose your response. In a small room, with nothing but his voice, he trained minds to become unshakable. And at the heart of it all lies one simple truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. This is the Stoic divide. There are things you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your character. And there are things you cannot. Other people, outcomes, the past. The moment you stop trying to control what's outside and start mastering what's inside, peace begins. Stoicism doesn't reject emotion. It teaches you to observe it, understand it, and respond with reason. Imagine your emotions and logic on a scale, not fighting, but balanced. That is the Stoic ideal, to feel fully, but respond wisely. In today's world, ancient ruins still speak, and Stoicism still breathes. Before you can control your emotions, you must first recognize them. Most people react on autopilot. They get angry, sad, jealous, and they act without thinking. But Stoicism teaches that the first tool in mastering emotion is awareness. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. On the outside, your face looks calm, but in the reflection, your eyes are burning with anger. This is the inner war most people never see. The Stoic begins by looking inward, not to judge, but to observe. What is this feeling I'm having right now? Where is it coming from? Is it real or just a story I'm telling myself? Naming the emotion is the first step to taming it. When you say, this is anger, you create space between the feeling and the action. It's like placing a label beside a flame. Now you're not the fire. You're the one watching it. This distance gives you clarity. You're no longer inside the emotion. You are outside looking in, and in that space, between emotion and action, lies your greatest power. Once you become aware of your emotion, the next step is simple, but powerful. Pause. In moments of stress, our minds crave instant reaction. We want to yell back, slam the door, hit send. But Stoicism teaches us to interrupt that impulse. When you pause, even for just a breath, you regain your freedom. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of chaos, arguments, noise, tension swirling around, and yet you choose to breathe, slowly, deeply. The world blurs in motion, but inside you stillness. That single pause is not weakness, it's strength, because when you pause, you stop being a slave to your emotions. You become their master. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke." A pause is that power. Imagine holding a stopwatch in your palm. Time frozen. You're not reacting, you're reflecting. The pause gives you time to ask, what's really going on? What would a wise person do right now? With this pause, you open the door to the next Stoic tool, reason. Now that you've paused, it's time to think clearly. This is where reason steps in, the third Stoic tool. Imagine a Stoic philosopher, alone on a mountaintop. Storm clouds swirl around him, but his mind, clear as still water. He doesn't react. He reflects. In that quiet space between impulse and action, you gain clarity. You ask yourself the essential Stoic questions. Is this under my control? If not, let it go. Don't waste your energy fighting the wind. Will reacting help? If not, don't act. Silence is sometimes more powerful than words. What would a wise person do? Not what your anger wants, not what your ego craves, but what a wise version of you would choose. This isn't philosophy for bookshelves. This is real moment-to-moment guidance. You may still feel the storm within, but with reason, you no longer become the storm. By stepping back and using these three questions, you take full ownership of your mind. You reclaim your power, because reason isn't about denying emotions. It's about directing them with clarity, purpose, and calm. And with awareness, pause, and reason, you now carry the heart of Stoicism with you into every challenge you face. So, how do we apply all of this? In real life, Stoicism isn't just for quiet reading rooms or ancient temples. It's for your phone, your work, your relationships, your everyday self. Before replying to that upsetting message, pause, breathe, respond, don't react. This moment, the pause, is where character is built. Walking away from an argument doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to choose peace over ego. Journaling in the quiet of the evening, writing down your thoughts, your reactions, and what you could control. This builds self-awareness. The Stoics wrote constantly, not for likes, not for followers, but for their own clarity. Look in the mirror. What do you see? A victim of circumstances, or someone who chooses their mindset? You are not what happens to you. You are how you respond. Even something as small as enjoying a quiet cup of coffee can be an act of Stoicism. You're not chasing. You're not scrolling. You're simply being present, peaceful. When you help someone across the street, no one may see it. No applause, no post about it. But you do it anyway, because it's right. And doing right without recognition is the Stoic way. Stick a note where you can see it. Focus only on what I can control. This simple reminder can transform your entire day. When things go wrong, you won't spiral. You'll remember, this is outside of me. Life isn't always clear. Some days feel like walking through fog, but if you walk with discipline, with purpose, with Stoic principles as your compass, you'll find your way. There's a path through the noise, through the anger, through the chaos, and it leads to something rare. Clarity, not the absence of struggle, but peace within it. That's what Stoicism gives you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So what will you think today? What will you choose? To react or to respond? The decision is yours. It always has been. This is Beyond Reaction, a place where ancient wisdom meets modern life, where you learn to control the inner storm, so the outer world no longer controls you. Put on your headphones, take a deep breath, watch, reflect, grow. If this message resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe. We're just getting started.